Hi, my name is Karen. I've been married for 23 years, and my husband's name is Cliff. We have two cats. Their names are Miss Molly and Simon. They're our babies. If anyone has pets, you know what I'm talking about. I'm originally from Southern California. We lost our home in Lake Arrowhead a few years ago um, due to fire. You can see my video on YouTube that will tell you all the backstory to that. We moved to Victorville, California after the fire. I've been in marketing for over 40 years. Yeah, I said 40 years. It's been a long time. Um, I've been, we've been trying to adjust to our new lives in the desert. It was a big change after living in the mountains. Uh, we were now living with just one paycheck after having lived with two paychecks and a business income. It's a real big change and an adjustment to say the least. I'm sure if anybody's ever gone through a big change adjustment on having two paychecks and a business income, you understand what I'm talking about. Cliff was able to work from home 4 days a week, which does get make you know is somewhat of an adjustment. If any women out there know what I'm talking about, you have to adjust to each other having one person home all the time, and I was used to working, so that was a big adjustment too. So I started doing surveys online so that I had something to do to keep myself busy, because we actually lived in a very rural area, and so I couldn't even get a job because to get a job I would have to drive 30 minutes for a part-time job that only paid minimum wage, so it wouldn't even pay for my gas to put the gas in the car to get there. So it didn't even pay for me to get, wouldn't even pay to get a job. So we settled into somewhat of a comfortable routine and a life, and we just settled into what we were doing. Wasn't what we planned on, but we came to terms with it. Then the unthinkable happened. Our lives were once again turned upside down. My husband, at 53 years old, was laid off of a job he had for 26 years. He worked in the newspaper industry, and he had been taking a pay cut for the last 4 years with the assurances that he was not going to ever lose his job because it was a position that would not ever be eliminated. Well, as anybody out there who knows, don't ever take what a big corporation tells you on faith. So, needless to say, we had to make a lot of cuts in all of our areas of our life to figure out how we were going to make ends meet. Well, then we had lost our home because we couldn't pay that big house payment. So we had to look in all areas how to cut things. One of the major things we could figure out how to cut was our grocery bill. So we started eating just one major meal a day. I began eating oatmeal as my major meal. Cliff didn't know I was doing this because he was going, out of the house. So what I did is I just made it so that I was being creative with what he was eating, and he didn't realize what I was doing. But by eating oatmeal every day for myself, that was a way I could cut some of our grocery bill. Um, that lasted for like 2 years because it took him 2 years to find a job. He actually found a job in Las Vegas, so we had to uproot our whole life again. We moved to Las Vegas for the job he found, but he could only find a job at half the pay he was making before, which was another big adjustment. So 8 years later, though, our life's back to the way it should be. I found a part-time job. Our life's getting back together. And I hadn't worked in 8 years. So, but at least things are back to the way they should be. We're making more money. We're settling into life. and financially we're getting back to the way things were, and we're doing things, at least our life is back to somewhat of a steady day-to-day routine. Now I at least get to be creative with our main meal every day with both my husband and myself. I don't have to worry whether we're going to be able to pay our bills or not. And September 2018 comes and I'm able to give notice on my 9 to 5 job. I now work when I want, where I want, and when I want. I'm also able to donate my time to causes that are important to me because I found a job that I like, and I'm now working with a marketing team that makes more than $1 million a month. Yes, $1 million a month. So I don't have to worry about money anymore. Now, if that sounds good to you and it's something you want to accomplish, click the Apply Now button and start your journey today. I can't wait to meet you and hear your story.